Hello there, it's Simone. What? This is not how I pronounce my name. It's Simone or Simone. And I'm here with my last snippets from my desk for the month of June. Before I start updating my reading journal and sharing what I'm doing, what I've been doing recently, I have some housekeeping to do. The first involves this flower sticker that I made from this collage that I did quite a few years ago now. I have sent one of these stickers to each of my Ko-fi members, and there is an asterisk to this. Some of you have not provided me with an address that I could send it to, so I did not send out one to you, but everybody else should have received or almost be receiving this flower sticker. If you haven't received yours, please reach out to me so I can make it right. And then I am also taking some time off my snippets from my desk. I do have some ink swatch videos that I'll schedule for the time, but I'm thinking of being back with my next snippets from my desk for Ko-fi on the 14th of July. And I'm saying that tentatively, I'm definitely going to be back on July 21st. Just so you know what is happening. And now I'm going to update my reading journal. I have listened to one more book since I last talked to you, and that is the other book that I had to choose from, which was The Ministry of Time. And I'm not so sure what to think about that book. By Kellyanne, I don't know, Bradley. It was on audio, and one of those that I don't remember where I heard it. I definitely heard it on a podcast. It was an interesting. Is this fantasy? Probably. The setup is we are somewhere in the near future. There is the possibility of time travel, and the first experiment is with bringing over people from history to the current time. They pick people from history that died. They for sure knew during that time they died, in order not to mess with the timeline. And the Ministry of Time has recruited bridges, which are the direct, basically babysitters of those people from the different times they were pulled out of. And the story mainly focuses on one bridge and one dude from history, and how. And now that's the thing. What is it actually telling me? What's the story about? It's a romance, but it's not like, that's not the main point. It's a retelling. The bridge is telling the story, but it's maybe I usually listen to audiobooks while I'm working, so maybe I should have dedicated more time, like I should have paid more attention. That could be it. But it's weird. It's like the end, when the book finished, I'm like, yeah, so now what? And maybe I just didn't get parts of it, or I didn't understand what they were telling me at the pivotal point. The main points, not so sure. So it definitely was an interesting story. I wouldn't have listened to it all the way through to the end, but at some point, I was confused. And if you have listened to this, or if you have read it, maybe we can talk and get some of the confusion out of my brain. It wasn't good. There was nothing wrong with the narration. See, narration. One more thing. There was, oh, hold on. So, maybe it also, another thought I just had was maybe it didn't end the way I expected it to end, but also, like, that's just life, it was weird. So, I think I'm going to write, interesting time travel exploration. Not sure. Not sure about it. Okay, then I'm going to underline of my trusty uni jet streams, and there we go. All right, so what is next? I did something yesterday. I can actually show you because it's not yet a personal letter. I started trying something out. I found an Instagram account maybe 2 months ago or so, and I don't know if you know them. I cannot for the life of me find them. They mix inks with dip pens because I have recently thought I need a new dip pen. Yeah. Not sure why, but that's where my brain went. I think I saw it first on Leanne's video, and then I did some research, and I really like how they look, and now I feel like I need one. But what do you need a dip pen for if you already have one? I already have the Kakimori nib, and I actually like it quite a bit. But what I wasn't able to accomplish is a good broad line that would be the same line width. I wrote all of this with the dip pen, with the Kakimori nib, and then this, I have a cheap glass dip pen here from Amazon that I used for this because I tried it, and with Diamine Celadon Cat, which is quite a dry ink, and I had such trouble getting the ink to get on the paper that I didn't have enough ink on the paper to drop in something else. And I was using the Kakimori nib for both. And so rinsing and cleaning it off and dipping it in the other ink just was too much. So I pulled out this one so I would have two, one for each ink color. And then I pulled out my raspberry rose, of which I know it's quite wet, and tried the same thing. And that worked better. But I thought, you never know, maybe. So here I am now. This is my watercolor palette. I have some random watercolor here. This is the inks that I used yesterday. And so the first thing I want to try and see if it works is if I can re-wet the ink. And because I just took some drops out of the ink. I don't think there is much Celadon Cat left. Sorry for shaking the camera. I'm just going to add maybe 2 drops. And then I'm going to add 2 drops in here and maybe 1 drop here, and then we'll see what happens. How am I going to do this? I'm going to just use this one to stir. But it's, look at it, it's grainy. Interesting. Does that suggest that it needs even more water? I will do that then. 1, 2. To me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be the same, you know, the exact same ink color. I just want to try the whole concept again. And I pulled out watercolor paper. This is Sanzen Tomoe River paper. And I just want to see and figure out what, oh, maybe I can just add 2. So I'm adding 4 drops in total to Raspberry Rose. This is going well here. And then I'm going to just see what happens with this. The other question is, even if I can reactivate it, can I actually use it to dip a pen inside, because I had another idea later too. So oops, I shook this whole thing again. Let me see. Okay. And a porcelain palette isn't probably the most ideal thing. Oh, well, the watercolor paper here. This is Canson XL watercolor paper. It's rough. And it's hard to write with this nib on here. So let's try the other one. Let's try Raspberry Rose. So I have an H. Oh, I have my other. It does work, but it's kind of not the easiest for real. I feel like I need another Kakimori nib. Can you see? Maybe I can zoom in a little more. So I'm switching. So the ink is wet, and then I'm dipping in some of that ink into this. What I'm noticing right away is that I'm totally not, this is not a thing that goes over quickly, and I am totally not the right person for this. Hello, friends. And then the other thing is that this ink is quite dark, so at dropping in this dark gray doesn't make it that much different or visible. So something light as Celadon Cat would probably be more easy. But it looks, can you see how it like spreads up? So now this is almost, yeah, it doesn't really spread anymore. Need to re-dip it. So that was the one thing. So it definitely works better on watercolor paper than it did on Sanzen paper. But then I had the idea that, you know what, I don't necessarily need to use a dip pen for this. I could just pull out some random ink colors from my inked pens, and I pulled out this one because it's just so light. So this is my Nagasawa gear scale with a broad nib, and I have Wearing Ghoul Yundon Yu inside, and then I just inked this one today. It's Lennon Toolbar Oyster. So I could do that and dip that in here, and then I also dipped, I think we'll just try and see what happens. So again, and because I don't have to re-dip it, so the longer you push the nib to the wet ink, the more ink comes out of the nib. Let's try. Ooh. 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 I'm saying ooh too many times. And what I'm also noticing is I'm not so sure I like this even. Have you tried something like that before? Wrong cap, so let me put this in here. Yesterday I did it with these two pens. So now I'm wondering what if I used this one and then dipped in the gray. Would this be more fun? Would I like this more? Playtime. Let's write playtime. This nib is so wet and so awesome. It's definitely not as swampy as the yellow versus the gray. It's just more of an ombre effect. Well, that's at least what the vibe it gives me. So definitely, for me, this is definitely not an enjoyable experience. Even though it's cool and shit like that, but no, it's like inside of me, there's like this teeny tiny, get on with it, it's too slow, what? Playtime. I would love to hear in the comments if you have tried this, if this is something that you do, if you enjoy this, if this is the first time you saw it. I definitely did not come up with this. I saw it on Instagram. If you remember the Instagram name, if I find it, next time I see it, I will link it in the description box below. Unfortunately, I can't remember. So the verdict... It's nice, but so not for me. But writing with fountain pens on watercolor paper feels good. I like that. talk about a wet writing experience. This is one. So there we go. I just needed to try this. Oh, look how this looks like it's super granulating. What if we just do this? And then I hope you saw something, anything. And what if I come in with some water now? What if I dip this in water and then I went here? I really like how this looks, but how do I need to wait? I can't get over how this looks. So nice. My friend Wendy Sue does these awesome creatures, and I love them. And so now I'm making them too. It's not my invention. I think that Instagram account that I'm talking about, maybe she got her inspiration from her too, because her creatures look different. Let me just try if I can have enough. If I have enough ink, I think her creatures are more like this, and then there is like color around. So the eye, and then, well, I don't even know. I shouldn't say her there. And that's what they look like. I like both of them. Okay. I just wanted to play and share. So if this is the only reason why I did this, what if there's still stuff in here? What if I take this pipette and try and... I'm just going to figure out or find out what is going to happen with this. So now I'm going to use my mouth and again, I'm going to use my dip pen and some water, and I'm going to just drop in some water and see what happens. Oh, if you put in a big splotch. Ooh, me like this. What if I put it here? Okay, nothing happens. Let me just put one more here. Okay. I want to see how this turns out when it's dry. So I'm swirling my dip pen through here. Linen. Toolbar, not oyster. You should all go watch Matthew from the Wet Pens video on oyster. And it's funny because this is, my child needs me, like right now. Oyster. I have had this ink since 2020, I believe. And or maybe 2021, and I can't even tell you why I never use this. This is cool. I like it. You know what? I also thought that I had a notebook. I just turned on the camera again. Now I'm turning it back off again. Ugh, I don't care. Here, this was my ink log, and I shouldn't put this here. This was supposed to be for all of my ink bottles, where I would have a name when I got this, May 2021. And then put, just like with my pen log, where I would document what ink I put in each pen, I thought I was going to use this to document when I put these inks into pens, and I did not do that. But when I pulled out the Linen Toolbar Oyster today to ink up this pen, that was information that I wish I had documented. And as I can see from here, Bennu Euphoria, I didn't put the date here. So this notebook wouldn't have given me the information that I was actually curious about anyway. I don't have all of those inks anymore, but I did actually document all the way to October 2023. Yeah, I think this is one of those yet another notebook wasted. It could be fun to make another ink book where I would document this, but how realistic is it to document all of those inky things in so many different places, you know? That's the thing that I'm wondering about. But it would be cool. And I really like how this notebook is. I really like this cover here. Oh well, oh well. I'm gonna have a hard think on this. But what did I want to do? I was going to update my weekly journal, but I have something that I would rather do right now, and I'm gonna grab it and do that with you. I think I need to zoom out a little more because the book is so big, so you can see the desk. I have my inked pens in my Rickshaw Sinclair, and I have a 3-pen koozie and a 2-pen koozie here, and now every pen, most pens can have their own space. Well, and then this one here. I'm actually thinking of, no, not thinking, that's what I'm going to do. I hadn't logged these pens in my fountain pen log because the original intention was to just ink them for a day. And so it didn't really make sense to document that. But I have kept most of these pens, and I just uninked the ones that I didn't really like or that were actually empty. And so I want to go in and do that documentation for all the pens that I have currently inked, because I think I will keep them inked until my sister and her family leaves in July. So that's quite a long time for some of these pens to be inked. And so I think it deserves to be documented here. I don't remember when I uninked this though. I'll just write something here. See, I can't even keep up with this. So how do I expect to be able to keep up with another log for inks? So I'm just gonna do something here, wherever. Ha ha ha. Okay. Bennu, I don't have any Bennus inked right now. I did put a 2.5 millimeter, what is that called? Pilot parallel on. They fit, the threads are the same or similar enough so that they can be screwed. The sections can be swapped. Esterbrook ST Honeycomb is not inked. Scarlet is inked though. However, I don't know what ink this is. That's why I also brought my ink journal, so I can go back. First of all, I can figure out when I inked it and what ink it is. So, I have decided, most likely, that I will marry not inks to pens, but nibs to pens. This is Diamine, Aqua, and I think this Sig broad nib has found its permanent home on this Esterbrook ST in Scarlet. This is so wet. Wow. Okay, question. What is this supposed to show me? Because for a fact, even though this looks like it's almost shorter than this one, for a fact, I know that this ink is much better than this ink. And it doesn't look much different. It doesn't look longer than the upper X. I'm still, I just do it because people do it, but it doesn't do anything for me. So this was inked on June 14th, 2024. And it's still inked. Now the only problem is that I need some, I'm gonna put it here so I can pull it out again. This also will help me figure out all the sheets that I still need for my book here. Man, I can't talk today. Lamy, do I have a Lamy inked? No, I don't believe so. What is this pen? I inked my Pilot. This is my custom 823, but I also have my custom 74 inked. I inked this in January with Waterman Serenity Blue for my pen log notebook. Maybe I need to dedicate one of those snippets from my desk videos to just start. I don't know what's holding, I know what's holding me back. What is holding me back is the fact that I don't really know how it's going to look like, and I am afraid of making mistakes. I have already started planning out how I want to set it up, but I'm still so insecure about this notebook. And it's like, why don't I just start? I talked about this so often here. This is Kobe number 47. Aotani Cascade Green. This medium nib is not 100% round in my opinion, but I like it. It's very smooth. This is also so wet. So let's try this again. Now, what have I learned? And I think I inked this on June 3rd, possibly. Nope, June 2nd. This is so nice. This is such a nice pen and ink pairing. I have to amend this though. There is June 3rd, 2024. There is not one ink I have had in this specific, it's just a regular Yovone medium nib. There is not one pen, one ink that I have had in this pen that didn't perform well. The only problem I have with this pen is that the cap seal isn't the best, so there's always darker ink in the beginning. It starts much darker than it usually is. So I guess I uninked this too because I have it inked with a completely different ink right now. Let's do May 20th, 2024. I'm going to pull this out because it's just so unwieldy. Look at the shimmer here. I really like making these videos where I don't have any idea what I'm doing, what I'm going to do, because it's just so easy. So, you know, I can do whatever I want, and sometimes I don't give myself the time to do that if I'm not filming along. Yeah, this brain is weird and odd. Don't tell me, I know. Ink. You know what the cool thing about this whole summer of bottle experience is that I see how many amazing ink colors I have as bottles, and I'm starting to question, of course this is the blue that I just or green, la la la. Minimum. Minimum. I'm realizing what amazing colors I have in my bottled ink stash. Of all of the inks that I have tried and used this month, there is 2, I think, that I'm going to, no, 3. I'm going to give this away. I already sold this, actually. I'm going to give this away. I'm going to pass this along. So it's 3 of 15. And then I do have 2 more that I'm going to work on this week. No, that's not true. So 15 plus 18, and only 3 of those, 3 18ths, 3 19ths. Doesn't even, 19 is a prime number, so it's 3 19ths. And 3 of those 19 inks aren't some that I want to keep, but all of the other ones are like, I like this. This is nice. It's good. It works. Most of them are wet. When did I ink this one? So this is 15, 14, 13, I believe. Yep, June 13. They're all really nice. And what I was going at is that, why did I acquire so many ink samples? What was I looking for? Like, was I on the hunt for the perfect ink bottles? I actually already have them in my drawer, so it doesn't really make sense to me. This is Lennon Toolbar, Oyster. I think this is the most expensive ink bottle I have ever purchased. And it's just a dark gray ink. And it's fabulous. So this was inked today, June 23rd, 2024. Yeah, it's weird. I'm weird like that. And I really need to work on all of those things. So Watermelon Serenity Blue, I re-inked it sometime in May because I thought I'm going to work on my pens for my pen case journal. May 15, 24. Well, actually, the thing that is holding me back right now is that I'm not sure that I want to have that journal on the Travelers Company insert, the Midori paper, or whether I would like a Tomoe River insert. That's the reason. So there is a reason for me not starting it. But in fact, the actual reason is, this is Diamond Evergreen, is that I don't know how to set it up. I also have talked about the home pen. That sounds like there is, it's an electrical device in your house. The home pen. I have found minimum 3 so far that I've taken to my hands, and I feel like, oh my gosh, this just feels exceptional. The Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black. And the interesting thing about the Imperial Black is that that was inked on June 8th. June 8th. I love the Nagasawa Gyosuke, but the feeling of that matte finish makes it just elevates that pen by just a tiny sliver. And so I really enjoy and like, just from the haptic feeling in my hand, the Imperial Black more than the Nagasawa Gyosuke. And now I would have never thought I'd say this. So that's interesting, you know. That's the second. And then today when I inked up the Pelikan M800 with Lemon Toolbar Oyster, I took it in my hand. I'm like, okay, and I have identified another one. This pen is not one that I totally feel at home with. The reason why I'm not talking is because I need all my brain power to spell out this French word. But it took forever to grow on me. I really like writing with it right now. I need to be in the right mood. But I considered selling this in April possibly, and I'm glad I didn't follow through. I really like it. It's grown on me. I really like this ink color as well. Really is a favorite word of mine, just in case you hadn't noticed yet. Okay, so that ink must be here. So that was June 16th. Black rhodium trim. I haven't inked that. I'm getting this pen ground, but it's one of those that if I didn't get it ground, if I didn't have a plan for it, I think I would sell it. I haven't used the medium nib. And then here is the Imperial Black, and that's in here. I don't know what it is. Does it sound differently? Let's just do this. Okay, that's the sound. No, it doesn't sound differently. It's just the feeling. It's matte, of course. That's why it's but this just feels really great. I wonder if it loses the matteness at some point. And I'm stalling because I have no clue what ink is in here. We don't know. Oh, right, yes. Robert Oster Old Book Smell. Where is the card? Oh, right here. This paper is a little bit more soft is not the right word, but it feels draggy, draggier. And the only time I notice that is with this medium nib. It feels like this paper and this nib aren't best friends. They work with each other, but they're just not perfect. So I inked this on June 12th. And they're all still writing really nicely. 2024. And I'm making my entry, and then I have a list of people I would like to send my pen pal letters to. In the beginning, I finished up the flowers I mentioned earlier, but I haven't, I just start a letter. Really, I just said that all of my sailors are in this 3-pen koozie from Sugar Turtle Studio. Isn't this just lovely? Perfect color. Rainbow. This is the Sailor Pro Gear 2 Hot Habanero, and I have a plan for this. Very excited. It's a Tinker plan, and my friend Wendy Sue will walk me through it, and I'm excited to try it. I hope I'm not breaking anything in the process. What was I saying? What was I talking about? Yeah, in the beginning as I did daily inkings, I also did daily note cards and finished up sending out flowers to Ko-fi members. And then I stopped because I realized that writing a whole ass letter in one night just it's not working. So I'm not going to put pressure on myself for an activity that I enjoy. So I just made a list of the people that I would love to get to in order, and then I just start writing the letter, and then every night, or as I have time, it's almost every night, I just continue writing for a little bit and then come back to it over the course of maybe 3 or 4 days, and then when I'm done, I'll send it out, and then I start another one. So these pens get used, but not Winter, Tabuan. The pens get used, but I'm not writing with every pen every single day, which is how I usually write with my pens. Even if I do daily journaling or something like that, I will only use one of the pens, so the others sit unused. So this gives me, I can't write minimum. This gives me a good overview on how they work, if the cap sealing is good or bad. I heard, I don't remember where, somebody said, either in a video or on a post somewhere, that their sailor pens wouldn't seal well. I have not made that experience myself yet. But I can experience these things. So like with the Montegrappa Elmo, as I mentioned earlier, it just, this pen is allowed to stay because it just performs so nicely. But that's something that that's like one of my pet peeves. If from today to tomorrow, the pen basically changes the color to super dark, and it's not even, you can't even discern a specific color, that drives me nuts. I can't. So I need another sheet. I'm not going to enter all of the things because I don't have the measurements and information right now, but I'm just going to write the title. Now I'm missing my pen. Here's a list of all the pens I have acquired in 2024, and this pen is number 15. So I'm going to put that right up here. That was May 2024. Could actually look it up, right? Did I even write with this? Here, May 8th. And then it's called the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Mini. That is such a long title for a pen. And it's azure blue with a medium fine nib. And I bought this on Amazon, and I need to look up the price for it and then add that here. And then I will add all of those numbers down here. I don't think I wrote them down. And of course, I don't have a writing sample with Waterman Serenity Blue. I'm wondering if I want to leave space for that. I think I should. I want to. So, second line here is where I started with the Waterman. Da-da. Right? No. Let me check. So I'm writing all of this up here. Then I'm leaving one space, and then I'm going down. Leaving one space, and then I'm writing the Waterman, and then I'm leaving one more. And then I'm going to put here Lamy Pink Cliff. Okay, I was just checking if I had turned on the camera again. I mentioned this before. I don't really know why I have this pen in my collection, because I was very outspoken about the fact that that this pen is not. I'm never ever going to try or buy a Sailor Pro Gear Slim again, because the grip section is too narrow, the pen is too short. I didn't really enjoy the 14K gold nib on the Pro Gear Slim. And then I saw this on Amazon, and I gave in to the I need this feeling. I totally didn't, of course. But, and then I got it, and I was surprised. First of all, I was super surprised by how it writes. I really enjoy it. I also like writing with it. And I keep reaching for this one over my black platinum carbon black ink pen, if I know that it doesn't matter if it's permanent or not. And especially, and I also filled this with platinum carbon black, but it was okay, but it wasn't great. And then I thought I wanted to try, this was the first ink on the first day of June that I used. I had never put Lamy Pink Cliff in a pen, and I put it in this one because I thought, this blue, I just wonder what it feels like in here. And I tried it, and I feel like this is a forever pairing. I love writing with this ink in this pen. I would love to see Lamy Pink Cliff in a broader nib too, but this is just so great. Oh, I never thought I would sing praises to a Sailor Pro Gear Slim. And then this, I cannot sing praises to. I would love to sell this. If you're interested, please reach out. Twisby Mini Black. I inked this. No, that's not true. I uninked this. I think I uninked it basically on April 21st. so we can actually document this. I was going to search for a permanent black ink, platinum. I need to obviously check what's happening here. So again, I was looking for another permanent black ink that wouldn't basically sit on my nib with all the black stuff. I'm not able to. It's like a crust on here. Feels a little bit like nail polish. And so I was wondering if I would find an ink that wouldn't do that to my nibs. But I don't enjoy any of those. The only other contender would be De Atramentis Document Black, but I have a bottle of platinum carbon black, and I decided after this experiment to just go back to that and decide on another permanent black ink when the bottle is empty. And I cleaned the pen and I inked it with platinum carbon black, and it's been inked since. I usually just clean my platinum carbon black pens, inked pens, when the fill is empty, and then I just flush it and re-ink it. And that works for me. I don't know if it works for every person. I know that people suggest you should clean these pens more frequently. I don't do that. So, did I write with all of those pens? Not with this one. I don't think I have one of those yet. I wrote with this. Oh, ha! Do I not have Sailor King of Pens in my... Interesting. So I haven't made any sheets in a long time, I guess. How many are left here? To think. All right. So this is, I probably didn't even enter it here because it's been in my possession for a long time. I just have purchased it since then. Oh, it's number 8. Okay. I guess I will be able to top the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Mini by Sailor Pro Gear. King of, is it King of Pens or King of Pen? I'm not going to add anything, and this is in the black. And it's a broad nib. And this is 2024, number 8. I purchased it in March 2024. Purchased it from my friend Nadia. So I said leave 1 space, 2 spaces, 1 line, and then here. And this I inked yesterday. No, Thursday. I have to recount. 1 line, 2, 1 line, 2 here. So this is Pelikan, Edelstein, Appetite, and oh my gosh, this nib is so lovely. I have had this ink. I think it was in the minimum. I don't know why I'm torturing myself with writing this every time. I copied this from my friend Mar. She uses this specific thing to sample inks, and I just love when she does it. And so now I do it too, because it gives me a warm fuzzy feeling in my stomach when I do it, but I struggle every time. I filled this on the June 20th, 2024. So that is all my inked pens. I really like them all, and I really like all of the inks. I'm excited. I'm really happy with this project, and I love documenting this here. But see, that's what I talked about earlier. It would be cool if I had this. This is what this ink looks in the Sailor Pro Gear King of Pen broad nib, and what it looks like in the medium Jovo nib in the Montegrappa Elmo. So that would be cool if that would be like closer together, you know. I have an idea. I don't know if I should do it though. I'm gonna think on this for a little bit, and then I will. So the idea is, my friends on Discord, and if you are interested in joining my Discord server, then please reach out to me. Sailor Pro Gear comes before S, so it goes here. Just reach out and I'll send you a link to the. That reminds me, I need, or maybe not, I don't know. I need to send out an invitation to someone who asked me about it. It would be cool if I could see this. So my friends on Discord, someone, Eleanor actually, did a, I'm going to show this to you because it just looked so good. Going to do this right here. I don't have the same material. I'm just going to do it on this. Now I just need an ink and an empty, what is this called? Pipette. So what she does is, I'm going to just use the tools that I have. Now I can't decide what ink to use. What the heck is wrong with me? That's going to be the last thing that I do, and then I'll stop the video. But she is using probably one of those rounded nibs that people are using now. I think I saw it first on Scientifically Engineered. I haven't watched a video by her in a long time. Is she still making videos? I loved them. So Eleanor does 3 or 4 dots down the side of the paper. I don't know what size of notebook she's using. So there's quite a lot of ink on the paper. And then she uses one of those empty ink vials, but I have this, so I'm just going to use this. And then she's going down the page. Well, I think her journal is much bigger than mine, because I could have probably just used 2. I'm cleaning my steel cup right here. And then she's using one of those broader nibs, but I think what I'm just going to do is use the Fuda nib. And this is how you can see that this is a great idea in theory. In practice, it's not not really feasible because you can't dip your nib. And then she would write the ink with this big nib. So let me just try to recreate that. And I think she writes it over here, but I don't have space over here. And then I think it's either a poem or song lyrics that she uses a regular dip pen, fountain pen, I'm not really sure, down the side, and it looks so awesome. But what I could do is write my pens here, or I could also do this and put a writing sample down here. Laura Ipsum, if you've watched the pencast, you know what I'm talking about. So she's writing down here, and the layout is so simple and it just looks so good. This is such a stunning, oh, now it's empty. I'm just going to dip my Kakimori nib pen because I wrote with this in the letter yesterday and it would not stop writing. I thought it was so fun. I didn't dip much. I don't have much ink. Such a super fun layout. I love it. And I'm honestly thinking of redoing let me just dip this more, because so now you can see there's ink in most of the grooves. You can't see anything. There's a lot of ink on here. Let's see how long this takes to write dry. Redoing, introducing my ink bottle journal. Let's call it that. Oh, because it would really be fun. It's just not, it's like, it takes too long. It'd be so much fun to have writing samples of different pens on the same page, and also see the last time I used this specific ink. I thought, I mean, okay, let's just be realistic for a moment here. But if, S-H-I-T, shit. Like, if I did this, maybe in a B6 or in an A5, even if it bleeds through to the other side, so I would only use this side, of course, of the paper. Even if it bleeds through to this side here, there would still be enough room in an A5 or a B6 to write the pen information on the back side and then put something here. But what is something to put here? I don't know. I just love this ink. Super lovely. Yeah. So Eleanor, you found something a really great layout here, and it's just so lovely. So I had so much fun playing with inks and dip nibs. Yeah, the dip nib is still in my cart, but after this experiment today and yesterday, I think I should, well, I could write the writing sample with this glass tip nib here. That would be cool. So my original, what I actually wanted to say, maybe I should leave my fingers away from this for a little bit longer because I don't really have a use. But this would be cool. What do you think? I need it, right? Yeah, we both agree, of course. So that's the video. It's been hours and I had a blast. Just playing with inks and pens is such an amazing escape mechanism for me. It fills my cup all the way to the brim and overspilling because everybody needs a pen now. I have set aside my 2 Lamy Safari limited editions, the Violet Blackberry and the Pina Colada, to gift them to my niece and nephew when they're here this upcoming week. Yep. I will replace the Violet Blackberry, but I will enable if I can, because why the heck not? So I hope you are having a good summer so far. I'm calm now. I'm not going to think about their visit, so I can stay calm for a little while longer. I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget, there won't be videos in the near future, but I hope I will be back on July 14th for all of my Ko-fi members. I have some videos that I can spread out over the next 2 weeks, so I'm not going under, and it's not really necessary that I let you know. I just wanted I am this important that you will miss my videos, and so you will wonder what is happening to her. I'm here. I'm just taking a break. Alrighty, goodbye. See you soon.